Stampers, happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm Meg from Maker Mornings with Meg, or from LovenStamps, and this is Maker Mornings with Meg. And I have a fun project for you this Monday morning. So we are going to have a very, I don't know if you remember the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I think I had to read it when I was in high school or college or something. And I looked it up on Wikipedia. It came out in the 70s. So it's been around for a little while. But anyway, the idea is that like attention to detail is really important, and there's like a piece that comes from that, right? So today's card is all about the Zen moments in assembling paper piecing. So hi guys, Sue and Cindy and Trish, Tanya. Leave me a comment if you have heard of Zen and Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I feel like maybe it was did they make a movie out of it? Anyway, so we're all about peach blossoms today. So we're using the Sweet as a Peach stamp set, marginally, but really we are featuring the, I'm gonna not hold them straight up because there's a zillion little tiny peach dies to make our peach blossom branch. And we are going to pull from the You're a Peach Designer Series paper, which reminds me to tell you that if you are a Designer Series paper super fan, like I am, especially with my Designer Series paper card bases, DSP card bases, you're gonna wanna pay attention starting July 1st because that's when the DSP stock up sale starts. So it's selected papers, and honestly haven't looked at it to see which ones are on there, but I feel like this one might be in the advertising. Anyway, in any case, are you guys ready to do some crafting this morning? We are going to get started. So I'm gonna flip you guys down this way. All right, there we go. We'll get you guys, whoa. Okay, hold on a second. Get an extra close-up view of my shirt there. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna flip you guys pretty close today because I want to make sure that you can see what we're doing. So let's see, where are we? Okay, I think we're in there. Okay, so I am starting with a piece of the Pale Papaya, whoa, I just had like a mind blank. Yeah, Pale Papaya cardstock, which is our new cardstock color. And I'm gonna go ahead and fold this in half. And we're gonna use this as our card base. Now for our branches, there are a zillion little pieces here. And one of my favorite things about the Stampin' Up! Sets of dies is that they do such a brilliant job of figuring out what you want to use in a repeated element and then giving you multiple dies of it. So this makes this card really simple to put together because you don't have to run like can you imagine if this was like one flower and you wanted like 12 of them, you'd have to run through 12 times, it would be a pain. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're going to bring in our featured colors here. So Pale Papaya, Calypso Coral, Pear Pizzazz, and Soft Suede. And I am going to die cut each of these. So we have our Soft Suede there. There are 6 leaves. So if you're doing a lot of these, I just kind of count them each time when I finish cutting so that I don't lose any because they're pretty teeny. And then the flowers, I'm just gonna throw 2 on the Calypso Coral and 2 on the Pale Papaya. And die cut all of this and try not to lose any of these cute little pieces. Another strategy for picking them all up is to grab the magnet from your Stamparatus, and that way you can just kind of run it over things and make sure you don't have dies like underneath a piece of cardstock because it'll pick those up, which is a fabulous way to not lose them. Okay, so then I'm gonna bring in, I have all those pieces die cut. Here they are, like so, okay? Now, we could, on our card, go ahead and put them just like on a square or a rectangle that's gonna fit here, but featured with my projects this month, because the June projects are Sweet as a Peach, that's my my featured tutorial project. I've also included this Stitch So Sweetly because I love these scallops and the way they complement, like, so here's one of the other cards, way they complement the peaches. So we're going to use this tiniest one. The one slightly bigger was the one that I used on that jar topper. You can kind of see that Calypso Coral peeking out from the back there. So we're gonna use this tiniest one and second from largest, and we're gonna cut ourselves some pieces. So I have a Whisper White label here that's gonna go on the front of our card, and or basic white, and another basic white little label that's going to serve as our greeting spot. So those are terrific dies to match this. Okay, so let's get to the meditation part, right? I'm gonna grab these and kind of set them aside. I'm gonna get my take your pick tool, which is going to make our job so much more pleasant. And I am going to, let's see. I am going to, oh, Sue said I'm kind of breaking up a bit. Is it back, hopefully? And Tanya, I'm glad you like my top. I sewed it. It's one of my projects recently. So I'm going to bring my multi-purpose liquid glue in here because this is what I'm going to do our background. Now, for this paper, I always get to a point in my cards and I say, oh, I feel like these pieces aren't very well connected. There's not a lot of connection to the background. So before I glue these things down, I'm going to bring in my pastels here and one of my sponge daubers. And I'm going to take this soft pastel and I'm going to pick up some color here, maybe this sort of orangey color. And I am going to do a little bit of daubing here in the background. And it's real subtle, kind of on the red side. So I might go ahead and pick up some more of this. I'm looking on the side of this for the one that I used my scissors to peel off the background layer for. So when these pastels come as a big set here, they come with like a coating on them so that your fingers don't get all pastel-y, which is great, except if you want to use that pastel part. So I scraped off the side here of that coating so that I can reach it with my sponge dauber. Okay, so there, can you kind of see that? There's just a little bit of nice shadow on there. And so now what I'm gonna do is take my multi-purpose liquid glue and I'm gonna start with our branch and I'm going to just put a teeny bit on here. And as always with this glue, I always say, if you can see it, it's enough. And then I'm going to actually, I think it's gonna run from the top up here, kind of down toward the bottom. And then we're gonna leave a space for our greeting to go kind of down here. Okay, so we've got that set. Now, that's the only one that I'm going to like pick up and add glue to, because the rest of these, I think, I'm going to mostly add glue to our project and then turn my pieces over onto them. So, all right. Like I said, take your pick tool will be a great friend in this project. So I'm going to just start placing leaves. All right, once I get the leaves set, then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add some glue. So let's see, oh, look at this, 2 hands. I'm gonna pick up, no, I guess I fibbed. I'm gonna go ahead and add glue this way. Okay, and this one I can see where it's gonna go, so I'm just gonna pop it on there with a dot. I got to remember which hand which hand is the glue and which hand is the take your pick tool. There you go. Okay, so you can kind of see how this works. Did I glue this one? Nope, not yet. So left and right. Gosh, this is like a brain exercise. You know, when you're trying to like cut stuff with your left hand or whatever. I feel like I'm playing with chopsticks or something because I guess you only use chopsticks with one hand. I don't know. It's just an exercise here. So, all right. So I'm making the leaves kind of go up towards the branch. And now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to start adding some dots of glue and then dropping some flowers on them. So you might notice that the flowers have a hole in the center. And I'm trying to not put the flower on so that the glue like pops up through the hole in the center. And honestly, I didn't worry too much about the flowers. If they pop through the die and the center doesn't pop out, I'm just gonna ignore it. Let's see, there we go. If the center did pop out, then that's fine. So, all right. So you can kind of see how this works and how it's kind of a relaxing process here. So you can decide to use all of them, you can decide to use some of them, but the great thing is that the die set includes plenty of flowers, so you don't have to cut like 50 times to get your project put together. I actually kind of think I might be done here. I don't know. This is like I always say when you're stamping, if you're adding extra elements, you know, when you feel like you need just one more, sometimes that's the time to stop. Okay, I do need just one more because I want to add another darker one down here. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about how to decorate this too, and how to add this to our card to kind of make it all fit together. All right, so I have some flowers left over. I think one of those is gonna come in handy still. All right, so we've got our branch put together. There we go. And all right, then the next thing to do is to go ahead and add this to our card. So you can see how perfectly this matches our pastel, our flowers, our card base. Let's give ourselves a little greeting, and I'm bringing in the soft suede ink pad for that. And you have lots of little tiny greeting choices in this set. I'm just gonna go with hello. It's kind of a nice all-purpose one. Be careful when you're inking tiny stamps that you don't press too hard, because you don't want to mash that in there and get ink all over. And I am getting ink all over my hands just from, oops, just from playing with my ink pads here. Okay, do make sure that you get your pad or your stamp firmly contacted. And then if you have ink all over your hands, you can usually get a lot of that off there just by running it on your chamois. So keep that chamois handy for your hand cleaning purposes. There we go. Okay, all right, so we've got our greeting, we've got our branch, we've got our background. We need to bring in some elements to kind of connect these two layers together. And like I showed earlier, the designer series papers from this suite are absolutely gorgeous. Lots of great designs. I kind of wanted something a little neutral, right? Because this is a delicate design. I didn't want to take away from it too much. So I decided to go with this one here, which is kind of got a pretty watercolored ombre kind of look. And we can take this and slide it underneath. And you see how when we do that, it really brings out those brighter flowers. So that echo of that color really kind of puts it all together. And then I kind of decided that I wanted one more little like echo element, and so I brought in this paper, is the back of this little peachiness here, and slide this underneath just to kind of echo that white and that whiteness of the layer there behind too, right? Okay, so then we're gonna take these and flip them over. We'll put some adhesive on the back. It's like living dangerously to add adhesive to something over the other papers. All right, but we make it work. Okay, and then when I line this up, I'm gonna go ahead and do it versus the card edge. So I'm just looking at this width right along here and making sure that it's pretty straight, so. All right, and then I just want a little of that to peek out. And there you go. And if you find that like at the top I have just a little hint of cardstock showing, I often go back to my trimmer and just trim that off so that we have that kind of neatened up. All right, and then this is going to layer here. So I know that those little tiny die cuts looked like kind of a pain to go ahead and put together, but rest assured that they really go together pretty quickly, especially because the die cuts are so nicely designed with those repeated elements. So, all right, so peel those dimensional backings off, and then this is gonna kind of go up here toward the top side of our card, a little bit offset. Okay, and then our greeting. Now, I want to add an extra embellishment of some kind to this card. So, Sue says she couldn't place the tiny pieces. You know, I would have a hard time like just manipulating those pieces, Sue, just to get them on there with my fingers. But the Take Your Pick tool really extends it, right? So it's almost like working with a pencil. So, you know, we can write or do whatever at the end of a pencil. It really helps to kind of minimize that that like tension of shaking stuff. So might be worth a try. All right, so I'm gonna bring in some ribbon here. This is the open weave ribbon, the pale papaya, because this comes in all the new in colors. And I'm just gonna cut ourselves a little swatch of it here, just a couple inches. And this is going to give us a great place to add our little embellishment here. So, all right, I can see kind of where that's gonna get covered up. So I'm gonna bring in my Seal Plus, and I'm just gonna put some Seal Plus right on our card so that I can stick this ribbon down to it. And the thing that I love about the Seal Plus for this is that it's not wet. So like this one, if I put it on there and then I smashed it onto with my finger, it would be problematic because I'd end up with gluey fingers. By the way, if you get gluey fingers, just go wash them and then come back. It's water soluble, so not too bad, but you'll, you know, sometimes I try to struggle through with gluey fingers and I find undoubtedly that I wish I would have just gone to wash my hands. All right, then now this is nice and flat and really well attached. And so I can easily pop my greeting on here. And I'm gonna make it a little high so that the bottom of it is highlighted by the ribbon where it sits, and the top is highlighted by sort of that pastel and that little leaf there. So you can kind of see how that comes together. So really a pretty simple card. Oh, wait, one more thing. I'm gonna add one more teeny little glue dot on here. And remember, you know, handling gluey flowers is really hard. So just put your glue on your project. And then I'm gonna flip this over to the back side and pop one of our last flowers on there. There we go. Okay, now I can wrap it up. So this is a really fun way to use some pieces from that Sweet as a Peach set die. So of course they're the dies that cut out the giant peaches and the leaves to go with them. There are ones that cut the bunch of peaches, or in this case we kind of did them as cherries. You could also do them as peaches with pastels. There are just really a lot of great dies in that stamp set. You know, you can use them for your jars. Lots of great dies in that stamp set, but don't forget about those cute little flowers and how sweet they are, and really how well they work to stand alone. So you could also put little peach blossoms on here as little decor and stuff like that. That would be cute. But I kind of like them as just a pretty peach blossom. You could do them in like pink and white as cherry blossoms. You could even like, sometimes cherry blossoms have that, is it pink in the center or pink on the outside? Anyway, you could use your Stampin' Blends or a watercolor tool to add a little like darkness to the center to kind of shade the color shapes. Or shade the shapes of the flowers for different seasons. Lots and lots of possibilities. And those pieces are all included with that die set. So it makes it a really, really nice set of extra accessories besides the ones that match the Sweet as a Peach. So it really extends the possibilities for that. So, all right. So like I said, these are part of my Sweet as a Peach tutorials for June. So those are, available on my blog, and there's a link to some of them in the description, so you can check them out there. You also can get those as a PDF tutorial if you place an order of any size in my online store. Link in the video description for supplies. But you don't have to order the supplies for this. It's any order in my online store, and you get that PDF as my customer thank you. And then you actually get supplies for 2 of the cards to make yourself if your order is $50 or more. And it is this card. So you'll get the card kit for this one and the card kit for this one with all those sweet little die cut flowers and so forth. So the nice thing about this one is that really you'll have everything you need to make it. You just need to add a greeting. For this one, you'll get the pieces die cut and so forth ready to go, but you'll need to make sure you have the stamp set if you want to make it exactly the way I showed in the tutorial. So got good possibilities there. But if you want more details about their program, there's a link in the video description to the LovenStamps perks points that I offer to my customers, and then those card kits to go that are a great perk of ordering too. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the Peachy projects this month. I will be back on Wednesday with another project, and it'll probably be a last chance list project because the last chance for this catalog is Wednesday, and there's lots of great things in here, just want to highlight a little bit more so that you guys don't miss out on any of those. You can also look back, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel called the Last Chance Highlight List or something like that. And it's all the videos that I've done that really highlight the things from that book that are Last Chance products. So you don't miss out on those. And Sue said no sparkle. Yeah, I know, right? No sparkle on this card, but I think it's okay. You could certainly add this suite of projects. When I do the suite projects, I always try to pull together a set of supplies that can be used for lots of things. So actually all of these projects are using the same set of supplies so that you feel like when you have them, then you can really make the most of them. And I didn't include sparkle in these. I did include, I think, the resin hearts, especially on this one. So surely you could put a little resin heart on here someplace because they're part of the suite kit. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching this morning and hanging out with me for a little bit. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your week is off to an excellent start. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. So happy stamping.